Let's look at the positives first regarding this fight. First and foremost, it's important to remember how young Parker is. Aged 22, and in just his 11th fight, he's beating a guy like Sherman Williams. That, in a sense, is enough to show that this guy is clearly a top talent. Williams is a very experienced, tough opponent, and for Parker to be taking his scalp so early in his career is very impressive. I think with heavyweights, age is more relevant than with other weights, and a man as big as Jospeh Parker, it's safe to assume that age 22, he perhaps isn't physically fully mature, fully developed just yet. So to take a scalp of this nature so early in his career, very impressive. Second thing, going rounds. I thought this fight was scheduled for 12. Now that's either a mistake on my behalf or it being changed, because the fight was actually over 10. I'd be interested to hear from anyone watching this video if you could comment below as to whether I'm just wrong and it was always 10, or whether there was some sort of change in effect here. Either way, Parker got 10 rounds under his belt against a very experienced operator. These rounds are going to be invaluable at times in his career when he's in against a higher level of opposition. Williams, very, very durable, tough guy. We know he's near impossible to stop. He's exactly the kind of opponent I would have liked to see. I'd like to see Anthony Joshua with in the UK. These are such good experience fights for Jospeh Parker, such good learning opportunities. I didn't want to see him knock Williams out. We know Jospeh Parker can punch. For him getting the rounds is more beneficial at this stage than keeping a KO record up. So I was pleased to see that. Other positives, Parker's shoulder injury, there wasn't too many signs of that. He showed good hand speed. He showed, even though he didn't knock Williams out, he hurt Williams a few times. He looked powerful in the fight, etc. All in all, a very, very positive performance from Jospeh Parker. The purpose of my video isn't to criticise the performance whatsoever. It's just to highlight a few things that I think still need to be developed before he takes on an elite level opposition. And I think with Parker's case this is particularly relevant, as I believe he's now ranked as high as 11 with one of the major governing bodies. So he's potentially going to be in with some real high level of opposition in terms of fighting for eliminators, for world title belts, etc. And I still think, whilst I'm impressed with the guy, there's a few things that need to be worked on. I've done a few videos of Parker on this channel, and my opinion of him stays the same following on from this fight. Huge talent, huge puncher, lots of potential, but a few things to be worked on. I personally would like to see him fight a similar type of opponent to Sherman Williams for his next 1 or 2 fights, and get a little bit more experience before he steps up to sort of world top 10, world top 20 opponents in terms of his opposition. Perhaps a Kevin Johnson, a Freza Quendo, this type of guy I'd like to see Parker in with. Accuracy. Parker threw at times some lovely punches, great hand speed, great snap, hard punches. His accuracy wasn't the best I've ever seen. Williams is obviously defensively quite astute. He knows how to not take punishment, but Williams was able to take a lot of Parker's work on the gloves, on the guard, and I just feel Parker may have been able to save a lot of energy and come on even stronger in the later rounds had he not thrown so many punches on Williams' gloves. The main thing, my main concern with Parker, and I must say it's an increased concern after this fight, is how hittable he is. Sherman Williams is a good level operator, but he is not a world elite fighter. If he's able to land sort of big power punches on you, on your chin, if he's able to land swinging sort of windmill type hooks on your chin, if you're fighting the world's elite, the likes of Klitschko, Hay, Povetkin, Fury, Wilder, Jennings, these guys, if Sherman Williams can hit you clean several times, these guys are going to hit you clean. Now Parker's shown a decent chin so far in his career, but it's not about having a good chin, it's about hitting an opponent and not getting hit. At the minute, even though he was landing more on Sherman Williams, he took one too many for my liking, and this ties in with another concern I have about Parker. He doesn't use his assets as much as I'd like him to. He's a tall guy, he's got good range. He needs to, in my opinion, work behind the jab, box. He did do that at times, but at other times he got sucked into a brawl. Remember, earlier on in Parker's career, I forget the opponent, but he took a really, really bad cut to the eye in a fight he should have won easily, and that became a life or death kind of fight based on that cut. You know, incidents like that would be avoided if you could work behind your jab and box a bit more. So with a guy like Sherman Williams, he can probably get away with it. He can get away with, you know, getting into a brawl, taking shots in the chin. You know, Williams can punch a little bit. He's not an elite level knockout puncher. But if Jospeh Parker is going to fight a higher level of opposition, and you'd expect him to in 2015 given his high ranking, he's got to be real careful. Because if he takes punches like that from one of the elite heavyweights, he's going to be in trouble. All in all, a lot to like, a positive performance, moving in the right direction. My only advice to his fans, his people, his team, would be don't rush him. At 22, there's still a lot of time. There's no urgency about this. You know, he's been in with a quite good level of opposition for his first 10, 11 fights. I don't think there's need to move him beyond Sherman Williams type opposition for his next 2 or 3 fights. Kevin Johnson, Fereza Quendo, these durable type opponents who are going to punish him when he, you know, leaves himself open but not knock him out. These opponents who are going to give him rounds are exactly what we need to see him in with. So more of the same, a little bit more discipline, a little bit more educated in your defence. And I think there are very bright things to come ahead for Jospeh. But yeah, thanks for watching this video. Keen to hear people's thoughts on the fights.